Let us begin this saga. In this silence, we continue to break forth. Things that will challenge you tend to surround you. But it is those very turntables that you must remaster, edify your mind, go into your belief system, enter into that chamber, obtain that golden light. The golden light will give you the connection to the passageway. And when you're in the passageway, because you know the four brooks, because you know the three pillars, because you know the one source that all abbreviates from, everything will be in accordance and everything will be lined out, played out. There will be a table for you to eat a certain type of bread. And every bread that you eat is going to give you a certain type of strength. It's going to turn you into a mansion. It's no longer you having to get a physical amount of money to receive a physical amount of mansion, to get a physical property so that you can be physically happy. The entirety is within, the constraint that you're going towards. And if you go into a greater stream and flow of wisdom, then the age that is coming upon you, that on the opposite side will disturb you, make you feel like you're getting older, make you feel like you haven't accomplished anything, the opposite effect will begin to take place. And this is the engineering of rejuvenation. Becoming rich is not about amount, ratios, and accumulation percentages. It is how you stretch the measure to full occupation within oneself, one's spiritual capacity, that makes you rich. Being rich is about being filled. When you chase and pursue something and you give your energy towards that thing, but it does not hold power to restore, to replenish, then you are chasing an air. And that is an arrow that takes you out of the quiver that you currently belong to. Mastery is sitting in a stage and ascending high enough until all want and you stepping out of that house to obtain anything has been achieved in each individual cycle until it reaches a seventh. That is a completion. If the completion cycles into the third fold and finds total union amongst the branches, then you have completed that saga. You have completed that journey. That mantle, it does not continue wation to the next phase. You lay it down and let it burn before the throne of God. And those ashes will become gold, will become diamonds, will become truth, will become legend, will become a pillar of eternity, in eternity. It's not about more and more money, but it is about speed and accelerating and being able to accomplish and lay these things down before the altar in quick succession that you grasp is going to be in accordance with how light the body becomes. And the interpretation of what you're seeing. And there are many stages where you have to return. You have to return back to your youth. You have to return back to the origin. You have to return back to the minimum wage job. Going forward in this spiritual transformation isn't about, oh, I'm just always going from glory to glory. I'm just going to a higher and higher dimension. No, it's about returning. It's about coming back down in the menorah, the memorial, and retrieving, receiving, reperceiving, reprogramming, regrasping, letting it line out on both sides and allow it to conclude its monumental status. Then you grasp that bridge and you connect it to the overlay. Then you bring it into articulation of the next bridge. Then you bring their symmetries, their patterns together, and birth is given. It is the water that gives new birth, atom that contains the miracle. Words connect, exchange between entities, abundance is stored. The progression ratio at which we accumulate the necessary fuel by the Spirit to proceed past the gates, a yearning and a longing will turn into a call, a desperation, a withdrawal, a returning of going forward and back, and in between seeming like nothingness, like you're not reaching the objective, like you're not going where you want. You're allowing the mind to take the driver's seat, not the vision, not the perception, not the truth. Whatever article being you have devoted yourself to, then you must live by those laws and regulations. You must rewire everything as a legacy, as legendary, as if every word was the building block for the next 3,000 generations that had to be heard, as if everything that you were about to speak became an oracle and stood in the dimensions of time, and you received the highest heavenly reward because of it. Overdue payments and overdue success, you shall drain it, shall blossom, and you will no longer pursue, but you shall be the pursuit. You won't just be the passenger, but in this stage and expansion, you'll be all the cars. You won't have to go to a third-party seller to collect. You shall become the seller of all collections. In one database, you will begin to own the world at a cheaper price. You will begin to see everything and do everything you ever wanted to do in the next 9 million lives with your eye. If you find completion in stillness and witnessing, then you will be able to ascend like the master. If you can sit in majesty and royalty, see, you'll be stuck in a stage in life, and very few people will ever pass this stage in this realm. Find the perfection of God and live in it and dwell in it so much where you can only see that perfection, even in the body, then you will be granted great access and privilege. Then you will begin to hold on to mantles of pleasure. And it's not all about pleasure. You're here to work. You're here, most people don't realize that they're here to use their words, their voice. That is the only reason why you're here. You're not here to be successful. You're not here to be a millionaire. You're not here to do what you want. You're not here to achieve. That's all good stuff we talk about, but the real reason you're here is to speak. Spend hours and hours just speaking. That's really why you're here. And if you notice all the people that are rich in this world, 99.9% of them, what have they mastered? Communication. Speak. You will find golden symmetry points. Now, you have to overlapse, exhaust, and in between, it's going to feel like a lifetime. I don't really know if I'm speaking the prophet of God. I don't really know if I'm speaking oracles. I don't really know if I'm just trying to sound. You do it until you release most of you, most of your flesh out of the body. If you have to make a 30-hour YouTube video and never upload it, just to get to the one aura, the one oracle that lasted only 30 seconds out of the entire 5-year podcast, we're going to break that down so nobody gets discouraged, then that's what you do. And you will find more success in those moments, more fulfillment in those periods, more achievement in those time lapses than if you were to work 20 years with all your might, all your energy, driving 8 hours a day, making $1,000 a day. This I can promise you. Because if you give, it will be given. But if you're just receiving and receiving and receiving, but never travel within you, then you won't find fulfillment.